What's going on, YouTube and Straight Talk About Life listeners? So, today I am combining my YouTube channel and my podcast. So, I haven't been on the YouTube channel in a minute. I think I looked at my last video that I posted, and it was around 2 years ago or something like that. So, yeah, I'm going to do better. I am going to start back posting over here on YouTube because I have been so fortunate to have these platforms. I am on 10 different platforms. Um, I am going to go ahead and name them for you. I am on TikTok. I am on Spotify. I am on, hold on. All right. I am on TikTok. I am on Spotify. I'm on Apple Music. I am on Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and TikTok. Yes, you guys, I am on 10 different platforms, including YouTube. And I'm doing something that I really, really love. And that's why I said I'm fortunate, like blessed actually, to just be able to motivate and encourage other people. Um, I started the YouTube and podcast actually a little bit over 3 years ago now, and I am continuing to spread the messages that I was spreading from day one, and that is to stay positive. Don't let anybody knock you off track. I know sometimes it is so easy to get knocked off track, to get into it with someone and just forget that you're trying to do the right thing. Sometimes people just make you forget and just make you snap. But that's when self control comes in and you have to like pull it back. You can't just give it all to them, even though you want to. That'll make you feel good in the moment, but in the long run, it's really not good. And I always stress walking away from people. Walk away. If you have to, run away from people that are being ignorant, people that are trying to drag you down and trying to take your energy. Run. If they're calling you on the phone, you can block them. I always talk about a good old block party. You can hit that block button. If they're emailing you, social media, just whatever, you can get rid of people. And sometimes people try to make mistakes. I mean, they try to make excuses and say that they try to make excuses and say that um they can't get rid of people or it's going to be hard to get rid of them. Yeah, sometimes it that may be the case. It just depends on what you have going on. But if someone is dragging you down, constantly draining you, get rid of it because that energy is going to rub off on you. And then what's going to happen when it rubs off on you? What's going to happen? Then you're going to start acting just like them, right? And you don't want to act just like them. So we have to get in the habit of removing negative people from our lives that are serving us no purpose. No purpose whatsoever. They're just there, taking up space, draining your energy, bringing you, they're just making you feel bad. And that is not the goal. The goal is to always stay in a positive space and to protect your peace. Your peace is very important. And to someone that really doesn't really care about you and value your peace, They don't care what you have going on. They're just going to keep coming to you. But at some point, you have to decide what's more important. What's more important? Is it more important for me to stay attached to this person that's just draining the heck out of me, not really serving a purpose in my life, not helping me elevate? What is the purpose? Should I just stay dealing with this person, or should I just leave them alone and move on with my life? Right? I think the better option is to just keep it moving. Move on with your life, protect your peace, live in love and light, and it's continue to spread that love as well. Continue to spread love as well. The world needs more love, and I always speak about this because I really, really feel strongly about it. I I think that well, I know that we determine how our day goes. And a lot of times people like to say, "Oh my god, they're making me have a bad day." Or I know such and such is going to make me have a bad day. And my response when I hear that is, how can someone have that much power over you to determine how your entire day goes? Are you serious? No. You determine how your day goes. So if for an example, if your boss is coming at you because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and just for literally no reason, your boss is picking with you, giving you a hard time, giving you a heavy workload, just making things difficult. If they're doing all of that, that's their problem, not yours, right? They're doing all that. You, on the other hand, can say, you know what? I see them. I see you. I see you. I see what you're doing. You don't have to say this out loud and get fired, but to yourself, you can say, I see what you're doing. I see you. And I'm not going to let you bother me. I'm not going to let you make me have a bad day. I'm not going to let you mess up my day. I'm not going to let you alter my mood. And I'm going to stay in a positive space because I know who I am. I know what I am. And I know whose I am. So I'm not worried about what you're trying to do. That within itself would shut down any negativity that even thought about coming your way. Because you're being positive in that moment. You're deciding what's going to happen in your day. You're deciding that you're not going to let what someone else is going through bother you. You're not going to let it affect you. And I think that's crazy how a lot of times people will be having a bad day, bad morning, and all of a sudden they take it out on everyone else. Why? Why? Why are you that upset, that mad about whatever it is going on in your life? And now it's making you lash out at people and be mean to people to where you sometimes you have to come back and apologize because you know you were rude. I don't understand why people do that. And I've been around people like that my entire life. Bosses, teachers, so-called friends, relationships. Why is it that people are not capable of controlling their emotions? And I had someone to tell me before that I'm too emotional. I've had them to laugh in my face when I was emotional or upset, um, make fun of me because I'm upset. I've had that to happen. And I feel like if you're dealing with someone that can, first of all, look you in your face and laugh at you when you're in pain, you're clearly hurt about something. If they can look you in your face and laugh at you, all kind of questions should come in your head. First of all, what is this person's role in your life? If this is a lover, your first question should be, why in the hell am I with you? That should be the first question, right? Who would want to be with anyone that can, first of all, cause hurt to the point that you're crying and in tears and upset or whatever the case is, and they feel no remorse in that moment, and they're laughing at your pain? Or a so called friend that's done some bogus stuff to you, and you're explaining to them how it hurt you or whatever, and they have the audacity to tell you that you're emotional. You're too emotional. Tell you to get over it. Or check this one out. They have the nerve to ask you, why are you crying? What? Yeah, yeah. The crazy thing is that there are actually people out there like this. That's wild. They're so emotionally unavailable. And to them, it's probably a normal thing. They see no wrong. They don't see that they're the problem in that moment. They don't think anything is wrong with teasing another adult for being hurt about something. And I just think, as a whole, we should do better as far as caring about one another, watching how we speak to one another, how we treat one another, actually caring about people's feelings and well being. And it's so sad to me. And majority of my life, I've had more male friends than I've had female friends. It just worked out that way, um, for whatever reason. I've had a few so-called friends to stab me in the back, to pretend to be my friend. Yeah, but they were not being my friend. So they had to get the scissors, had to get cut off. And for some reason, I just click better with the guys. I just don't know. A lot of people like to raise the argument that females and guys cannot be just friends. Maybe that is the case for you, but for me, I haven't had an issue with that. I mean, I haven't. I've been around some men that were gentlemen, pretty much taking me in as a sister, I guess you could say. And there is an argument about that too. The sister brother role when you're really not blood related. I've heard some people say on podcasts that the guys just want to sleep with the woman. And look, all of this depends on your maturity level. That is not always the case for everyone. It's not. Everyone in America or just in the world in general does not think the same. And just because you're small minded and you think that women and men cannot be just friends does not mean that it's so. That don't make it facts because you think that way. I'm not gonna argue with anyone. Please don't email me or comment about what I just said. I'm just giving my point of view on that issue because I just spoke about that, about having the guy friends. But I do feel like that can happen. Now, there are some people that end up being attracted to each other and mutually they decide to cross those lines. They can do that because they're adults and they've gotten together and made that decision. But not everyone is just thinking about sex all day. Some people actually want to be friends and get advice and all of that. So, you have to excuse me, you guys. I am still getting over a cold, and that cough just came out of nowhere. But yes, I believe that. But the point I was making earlier, you guys, when I went off into talking about the women and men relationships, friendships, um, I started to say that a lot of times society pokes fun at men for showing emotions, for yeah, just showing emotions. Everyone that's emotional does not cry. You have some people that yell, scream. Some people turn to violence. You have some people that drink. I mean, people handle things differently. And I feel like, and this is just my opinion, based off of the people I've been around, that, well, the men, I feel like some of them think that just because they're not crying, they're not emotional. I don't believe that is so. I believe that if you are yelling, raising your voice, screaming, being violent, if you're doing anything out the norm because you're upset about something, that is showing emotion. And I think that as women and just as a society as a whole, I think that we should get out of the habit of making fun of men for showing emotions when they cry, especially. And I've spoken to this in another episode, but I'll address it here as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with men showing emotion. I mean, they're human, right? And sometimes when you're mad enough, you cry. And I don't think that just because someone does that, that makes them less of a man. And then you have some people that's walking around here being trying to be tough, being abusive, being rude to everyone because they need a good cry. They're holding in emotions, things that they need to let out. They're not letting it out. They're holding it in because somewhere someone told them, suck it up. You're not supposed to cry. You're a boy. You're a man. I think that that's wrong. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to argue with nobody. Don't email me. But I am just saying, and no, I'm not a man. And I was blessed with 5 daughters, so I wasn't able to raise, a son. So I can't begin to speak on that because I don't know anything about it. I'd only seen my husband raising his son so I can only speak from that point of view. But as far as me personally, no. Um, and I'm not saying that he did that, but I'm just saying like I didn't raise any boys, but I believe that people should just be respectful to everyone. We should respect each other. If you feel like you want to cry, then do it. You should be able to do it without being judged. And that's not just for men, that's for women too. Stop talking about people. Stop making fun of people. Allow people to feel. That is what's wrong with the world. They don't want to feel. You should feel your emotions. Don't stay there. But you need to feel it in order to heal. You need to feel in order to heal. That sounds good. You need to feel in order to heal. Don't just sweep stuff under the rug. Don't just sweep stuff under the rug. Don't just let it go. It's something else that has really gotten on my nerves too for years. Um, it's the people that pretend to be concerned, pretend to care about what's going on in your life, or they want to know if you're doing okay, but it's all pretend now. They just want to find out and be nosy, see what's going on with you so that they can go back and have something to gossip about. I believe that, I truly believe that if you really don't like a person, you don't rock with them, you don't support them, you should not be in communication with them at all, especially laughing and in their face, pretending like you're friends with them or your family, like, pretending that you're close. But it's all for show. It's not real. I think it's time out for people being fake. One thing that people that really know me in real life will tell you, if I don't rock with you, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to deal with you because I don't have to. And that's just me. I've always been that way. Um, I don't believe in pretending to be friends, you know, pretending to get along and all that. Like, life is too short to be unhappy. And if a person is making you miserable, if they're not making you happy, if they irritate your spirit when they're around you, if they give off bad energy, you don't need to be around them. And it's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's nothing wrong with protecting your own peace. I don't believe that there's anything wrong with that. As a matter of fact, that's what we all should be doing is protecting our peace, watching the company that we keep, protecting our energy at all times, making sure that we are whole and happy and loved. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Oftentimes, people forget about themselves. I did for many years. I did not protect my peace. I always put other people before myself, and I was on the back burner. So at some point, I realized, what sense does that make to put everybody else first, make sure they're whole and happy, and emotionally, I'm drained, unhappy, feeling lost, lonely? That makes no sense. And I'm still a work in progress. I still sometimes find myself overdoing it and doing too much, especially when I'm trying to help other people. And I have to learn, or I am learning how to pull back some because I have to save energy for myself. I can't just give it all away. If I gave it all away, then I wouldn't be complete. There would be something missing for me. So I'm learning, still learning how to put myself first, how to work on me and make sure I'm happy. You know, the holidays is I'm trying to see how to word this. Well, okay. So everyone that has tuned in to any of my other episodes or anyone that knows me for real, you know that I've lost several people that are very, very close to me. And one being my brother, which was my best friend. And the holidays have not been the same since me losing those people, my father, my grandmother, my brother, and then as recent as 2 years ago now, my little brother. Um, the holidays have been rough. And I'll say not every year because you know what? Last year was okay. It just it comes and goes. And anyone that has lost a loved one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some days you're fine, and other days it's like something will hit you, maybe a song or a memory. Maybe you'll cook something and it'll remind you of one of your deceased family members. So this year was rough, and I knew I was going to be good. I was like, I'm going to be good this year too. And then there it went. Um, I was feeling down for, I'll say, maybe 3 days max. And it was rough. And I thought about not talking about this, but I said I'm going to talk about it because somebody else might need to hear what I'm saying. But those holiday seasons, you should check on your family and your friends, especially the one that has always been strong, always being strong for everybody else. Um, that friend that's or family member that's always happy, go lucky, and then you just notice a change because I mean, if you don't really know me and you're not paying attention and you wouldn't have caught it, but there were a few people that caught it. A few people that caught it. And they realized that I was getting kind of quiet. I was getting kind of quiet. And not only was I getting quiet, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out how to say this. But I appreciate is basically what I'm trying to say. I appreciate the people that appreciate me. I appreciate the people that rock with me, that show genuine love for me and concern. I really appreciate that because you wouldn't know unless it hit you or hit your family. And excuse me. Sorry about that, you guys. Still coughing over here. But I could tell you all day. Um that is a difficult thing to lose someone or people that's really close to you. But unless you've lived it, you you wouldn't really understand how painful that is sometimes. But it was kind of rough. It was kind of lonely. It was it was a big deal for me. Because like I said, I am always the strong one. I pride myself in being the strong one for everyone else and myself as well, and just pushing through. Um, but just thinking about, okay, for example, I was in the kitchen cooking a sweet potato pie, and I thought about my grandma that raised me. Um, she used to always cook her sweet potato pies for Thanksgiving, but she didn't just cook them for Thanksgiving. She cooked them often. She cooked desserts often. So when I was cooking that pie, it just hit me. It was like I miss my grandma. And then I was actually having happy thoughts, and I was thinking of the good times when I used to always be in the kitchen. Whenever she was in the kitchen, I was in the kitchen. That's why I know how to cook so good. I was always in the kitchen observing and watching her and listening to her stories and listening to her talk. Those were the good memories. So when you think about your deceased family members, you don't have it doesn't have to always be sad. You can always think of the good times. And yes, you may get a little emotional because you're thinking about them, but smile and think about them. And I thought about my brother. I thought about my dad. It was a lot. It was overwhelming, actually. But it really felt good to be thought of during that time because, everybody's so busy with their families and, just trying to enjoy the holidays themselves. And I understand that. And we're all grown. I don't need anybody to hold my hand or anything, but I just want to say it really meant a lot to be thought of during that time. So, if you all know of anyone that has lost family members, please keep them in mind. Think about them. Shoot them a text, an email, a phone call. If you're friends with them on social media, send a message. I'm sure it would mean a lot to them. Don't just wait for them to reach out. Because if I'm honest, most of the time they're not. They're not going to reach out. They're not going to say anything. They're just going to go through it in silence. They're not going to tell anybody. But just you showing an act of kindness, showing concern, asking them how they're doing, telling them to have a great day just out of nowhere. That would really mean a lot to them. So think about your family and your friends. And we still have Christmas coming up. We still have the new year coming up. And think about your people. Keep them in mind and don't be selfish. Because if it was you, you would want someone to show concern, to reach out, to be thoughtful. So just send that love out there. And I promise you, that same love that you're sending out, that same care is going to come back to you. Because you never know when it's going to be your turn. And you don't want to be forgotten about. You don't want to be forgotten about. It's not a good feeling. But overall, you guys, today has been a really good day. I am looking forward to the rest of the week, getting some more episodes out for you all, uh, continuing to work on this YouTube channel, getting that back up and running, and just continuing to spread love and light. I feel like I know that is my purpose, and that's what I'm going to do. If I can reach one person, I've done my job. Maybe one episode where I'm speaking about something that's happened to me, or maybe I'm uplifting and encouraging in that episode. Maybe that one episode would touch someone. You never know. So, on that note, you guys, I am going to go ahead and end today's podcast. I appreciate all of you and I thank you for listening up until this point. If you've made it all the way through this episode, I'm not sure how many minutes this one is going to be. I'm guessing 40, 45 minutes, however long this episode is. I appreciate you all for joining me. I appreciate you for being patient with me with all this coughing I have going on over here. And some of it you heard and some of it you didn't. I'm glad you didn't hear the real bad one. But just pray for me, guys. But I want you all to have the most amazing day. You can email me KIMIJO774 at gmail.com, and I will be sure to get back with you. Please allow me at least one day to respond to your emails and walk in love and light. Spread positivity. Be there for other people. Don't be selfish. Um, just go be happy. Don't forget to smile, you guys. I want you to know that the Most High loves you. And guess what? I love you as well. You go ahead and have that amazing day, you guys.